Hello, hello, hello. My clock says 6:15. It's slightly fast, I think. But I think it's time. So I'll wait a minute till people show up. Let's see. Adjust the picture a little bit. Whoops. That's going the other way. Okay, and that's better. Turn it so it's not quite so glary on it, I think. Okay, there we go. Cool. Well, people. Oh, one's on. I'm not sure. Oh, Kim. Hi, Kim. How are you doing? You were under the weather a couple days. I hope you're doing much better. That's good. So, we'll wait a minute and then I'll say what's going on, I guess. Teresa's here. Hi. I see a number of people coming on. So, well, happy Friday. Um, I just walked in the door like 5 minutes ago. Dottie's watching, Lisa's watching, uh, Janet's watching, um, Myra's watching. So cool. So I just walked in the door. Yes. So I still got my little bracelet things on. I haven't taken them off yet. I have the little bandage from the IV. I have a bandage on my side of my leg from the drain tube. Lisa's watching. Glad to see you home doing well. So far, doing good. Sharon's watching. Number one fan. And then I have a bandage on my knee. I don't know, whatever. Bandage on my knee. And I got my white, whatever you call these things. The squeeze socks things. Whatever. So I just got home. And Bob Cartwright brought me home. And Janet's watching. Patricia's watching. And everything went good, I guess. Ted Hose. Okay. And it was kind of weird because they were going to check me out, and the knee hurts like a bitch, Janet. Bob's down there getting me my narcotics right now. So, at Rite Aid. So, the, so this one lady walked in. She's like, I don't know, an organizer lady or whatever. I don't know her title. And she goes, well, you can't go home. I go, or she goes, oh, so there's bad news. I go, what? She goes, well, we can't let you go home. I said, why? She goes, well, physical therapy said that you're unstable on your feet and you're a fall risk and you can't go home yet. I said, well, he must have wrote in the wrong chart because he told me that I did really excellent. He was really impressed. And I went up and down stairs. Yeah, I'm going to be shackly bionic. You bet. Got it, Janet. With your help. So, the, so I said, you better check that out. So the nurse came in and said, you ready to go? I said, well, the one lady said I can't go yet. She goes, who? I said, and me, I'm all drugged up still. And uh, she, I said, I don't know. This, it was bad. I said, the lady about that's taller than you and about twice your size, and she was in red. She goes, I don't know who you're talking about. And she stands there and then moves over once. I said, yeah, about this. God, that was bad. I'm, yeah. Can you tell I'm on the oxycodone? And then the so she went looking for her, came back and said, no, everything says you're good. Everything's good. I talked to the physical therapist, just like you said. He was impressed because they had me do stairs, up and down stairs. They had me do um, curb. They had me pretend I was getting in a car and walked up and down the hallway. I was up 4 times before I came home. So um, it's all good. So, okay, well, I don't know if people have questions. I kind of put stuff out on the Facebook, but it's just a normal knee replacement. Everything went fine. Everything went well. Oh, it was pretty interesting because the prep nurses, they go, "You got the best doctor." He says, "Dr. Stilldorf is the best." Um, so, and another nurse heard her say that, and she said, "Yes, he is. He's the best." And they both said, if we had people that needed knee replacements, that's where we would send him because he is top notch on knees. I said, okay, cool. Charlene, too bionic to be kept down, Richard. Welcome home. Yeah. You know, my back doesn't hurt. Was it the bed or all the or all the drugs? I don't know. Oh well. So here we are, my mom's book. I had my sister bring it out to the hospital in case I was still there, but I'm home. I'll get settled in a bit. So, this is chapter 18, Evangelical Deaconess School of Nursing, the first 6 months. So, that's where she went and had her nurses training. Yepers, take it slow, my friend. Oh, yeah, I will. So, it says the application to nurses training required a birth certificate. The age for admission to nurses training at Evangelical Deaconess Hospital was 18 or within 6 months. I would be 18 in 4 months after admission, but I had to have proof. My mother had to apply to the city of St. Louis for one because Dr. Urban had not registered my birth because I'd been born in his office. With my grandmother's affidavit that my birthday was January 9th, 1929, along with a copy of my baptism certificate, the city of St. Louis issued one with Betty Lou Zink as my legal name. Although I had been named Elizabeth Lucille after a friend of my mother's, I had used Betty Lou from time to time, from the time I was born. Oh, wow. So she was actually named Elizabeth Lucille, but she started going by Betty Lou from the time she was born. And so that's what she had put on her birth certificate. Interesting. Okay. Why do you have hospital bracelets and visitor sticker? Do I have visitor sticker? Oh, because I haven't taken all that crap off. I haven't had time. So glad you're home. Gina's watching. Cool. In September 1946, I enrolled at Deaconess Hospital School of Nursing on Oakland Avenue. I went by there when I was in St. Louis, and the building's not there anymore. There were over 32 enrolled in the freshman class. Our uniforms were supplied by the school and actually were made for us by the school according to our weight and height. The Evangelical and Reformed Church has several deaconess hospitals in various locations throughout the Midwest states. The deaconess are a sisterhood of women devoted to nursing. Those doing so hard their education paid in return for their commitment to their profession. They could not marry while they were in the sisterhood. If they wished to withdraw for any reason, call came in from Rite Aid, so I guess my drugs are. In September, they could not marry while in the sisterhood. If they wished to withdraw for any reason, they were required to repay the school for their education. Wow. Before the war, only women desiring to become deacons could apply. But due to the shortage of nursing occurrences during the war years, the school opened its doors to Laity, Laity, Laity. Ours was the second class of lay students. Only one out of our class, Irma Williamson, entered the sisterhood. were a real curiosity to the sisters living and working in the hospital. Yeah, who's these strange women? Uh, they gave me a visitor sticker when I first came in to go to check in. So I was a visitor when I before I checked in. Then I became a patient. Then they gave me these. So does that explain it? Hope someone hid your keys. Hid my keys. I had my keys in my pocket. Um, the nurses' quarters were overcrowded with all the new students, but new building was being constructed. Meanwhile, there were three of us in a room. My roommate, Chris Hayo, 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 and Dolores Knight, and I attended Southwest High School. We had known each other in school, but were not well acquainted. I know how that goes. I got a lot of those friends that went to Oceanside High School. Pamela says, good evening, Richard. Hello, Pamela. Adjustment was difficult, particularly my being the only child and not used to sharing quarters. Studying was hard because I liked to go to sleep early, but they liked to stay up late. For 6 months, we shared a room until our new quarters were available. Each of us had asked for private rooms once the new building was completed. Our meals were served family style in the sisters' dining room and around the table of 8. The sisters sat head of the table. The food was very good, and I sometimes jokingly said the reason I ate first is because the one finishing first could have seconds. We were expected to be at breakfast every morning unless we had a day off. Often roll call was taken, and if anyone was absent who was supposed to be there, disciplined action was taken, which was a withdrawal of a late pass. We had a certain number of passes a month. Most of them were for 10 p.m. with an occasional midnight, and once a year for 2 a.m. Most of my classmates were from homes far from St. Louis, but my mother and father only lived 10 minutes away by streetcar, so I was able to go home frequently on my leaves. Good evening. Amanda Fox is watching. Hello. The sisters often had guests who shared meals with them. Many were visiting ministers who had come to observe the hospital. I remember one extraordinary guest, Harold H. Wilkie. I'm not sure if he was ordained. However, later he became a minister at the United Church of Christ, a merger of the Evangelical Reformed and the Congregational churches. He was a young man who had been born with no arms and often came to visit the hospital. The students were curious to see him eat with his feet, with the grace and manners of any able-bodied person eating with their hands. I shall never forget watching him. He became an activist in the denomination to promote ministering to the handicapped. He also was the founder of the Healing Community, an organization devoted to the purpose of restoring alienated and handicapped persons to the mainstream of community life. Years later, he visited our church in Carlsbad, and I had the privilege of introducing him since I had known him, not personally, but from watching him from afar in the dining room. It was indeed my pleasure to see him. I remember him telling a story about his mother requiring him to do everything using his toes instead of his fingers that his brothers did. When someone asked her why she didn't help him put on his shoes, she replied, I am helping him. What an inspiration he was to everyone. I shall never forget him. The first 6 months we had studies in anatomy, physiology, microbiology, pharmacology, and religion. Anatomy and physiology fascinated me. To learn how the body functions was a real eye-opener. We had a skeleton on which we learned bones and how they were connected. I see it's 6:31 already. So I'll stop there, and I'll finish this chapter next Friday, and we might get started on another chapter too. So here's the picture of the Evangelical Deaconess Hospital, and picture of her before capping and after capping of her class. So there we go. So with that, I'm gonna get out of here, and I'm gonna probably, yeah, there you go, Patricia. Go to bed. Yes, probably gonna go to bed because, man, that hospital, like, they even warned me last night that they were gonna come in every 2 hours. But that was just that one nurse coming in every 2 hours. There was other people in between that came in too. I finally, about midnight, little maybe 12:30, got to sleep for an hour and a half, and then got woken up again, and then slept again for another hour or two. So I got a little sleep, but man, it's not a restful place, that's for sure. Okay, well, have a great one. Talk to you later. Have a super fantastic weekend, and I'll be here next Friday. If you guys want to text or say hi, you're welcome to. Love you all. Goodbye.